December 15, 2018 will be etched in the memories of Shelbyville's residents for years to come. It was on that fateful day that a gruesome discovery was made, one that would send shockwaves throughout the small town and leave an already shattered community reeling. The body of 32-year-old Alex Johnson was found in a shallow grave, hidden from prying eyes on his family's property. Initial reports suggested a tragic accident or perhaps even a burglary gone wrong, but as authorities began to investigate further, it became clear that nothing could be further from the truth. Multiple stab wounds and signs of severe blunt force trauma told a more sinister tale, one of premeditation and calculated brutality. As detectives dug deeper into Alex's background, they began to piece together a puzzle of motives and suspects. Was this a crime of passion or a meticulously planned heist? Theories swirled, each one as disturbing as the last. Neighbors who had known Alex his entire life came forward with stories of altercations and disputes, while others claimed to have seen suspicious characters lurking around the property in the days leading up to the discovery. The Johnson family was left reeling, struggling to make sense of the unimaginable tragedy that had befallen them. Alex's parents, in particular, were vocal about their outrage and grief, demanding justice for their son and an end to the unspeakable violence that had consumed their lives. As the investigation continued, a more sinister narrative began to emerge, one that would expose dark secrets and long-buried grudges within the community. The search for answers was just beginning, but one thing was certain: nothing would ever be the same again in Shelbyville. In the quaint town of Shelbyville, Kentucky, nestled in the rolling hills of rural America, a sense of unease settled over the community on December 15, 2018. It was a day that would etch itself into the collective memory of the residents forever, as a gruesome discovery was made on what seemed like an ordinary farm. The body of Alex Johnson, a 32-year-old husband and father of 2 young children, lay lifeless in a shallow grave on his family's property. The incident sent shockwaves throughout the small town, with whispers of speculation and suspicion spreading like wildfire through social media channels. It was as if a dark veil had descended upon Shelbyville, shrouding its residents in an air of uncertainty. As investigators began to sift through the evidence, one thing became abundantly clear: Alex's death was no ordinary homicide. According to eyewitness accounts, Alex's body bore multiple stab wounds, with some estimates suggesting as many as 8 distinct puncture marks scattered across his torso. Additionally, forensic experts confirmed that severe blunt force trauma had been inflicted upon him, with significant bruising and lacerations evident on his head and neck area. The sheer brutality of the crime scene left even seasoned law enforcement officials stunned. As authorities scoured the property for potential leads, they discovered a series of cryptic messages scrawled on a nearby shed wall. The handwritten notes seemed to suggest a clear intent to mislead investigators, raising questions about possible motive and accomplices. Alex's wife, Sarah, who had reported him missing just days prior, became an integral part of the investigation, her whereabouts on the fateful night still shrouded in mystery. The case has since become one of the most high-profile unsolved murders in Kentucky's history, with countless theories and conspiracy theories emerging to muddy the waters. As we delve deeper into this harrowing true crime story, the questions only seem to multiply. Who could have committed such a heinous act? Was it a calculated revenge or a fit of rage? What secrets lay hidden behind the idyllic facade of Shelbyville's rural landscape? As investigators pored over the evidence, a key development emerged that would change the course of the investigation. A review of the victim's phone records revealed a cryptic text message sent to Alex Johnson just hours before his murder. The message, from an unknown number, simply read, "You know what you did." At first, police thought little of it, assuming it might be a prank or a misguided attempt at intimidation. However, further scrutiny led them to believe the message was more than just a random threat. Alex's family members revealed that he had been involved in a heated dispute with his neighbor, 35-year-old James Parker, over a property line issue just days before his murder. The tension between the two men had been simmering for months, and police began to suspect that James might have been involved. A thorough search of Alex's phone records revealed another crucial piece of evidence: a series of missed calls from James Parker on the night leading up to the murder. These calls went straight to voicemail, but they were made repeatedly in quick succession, suggesting a sense of urgency and desperation. The combination of these details led police to believe that James might have been trying to reach Alex for some reason, perhaps even to apologize or make amends for their ongoing feud. But what could have driven him to such violence? Was this a premeditated attack, or did something go terribly wrong in the heat of the moment? As investigators continued to dig deeper, they began to uncover more disturbing details that would raise even more questions about the events leading up to Alex Johnson's brutal murder. The brutal murder of Alex Johnson has left a ripple effect in the small town of Shelbyville, Kentucky. The case's subsequent investigation and trial have shed light on the darker aspects of human nature, raising questions about the warning signs that may have been overlooked by those closest to him. Alex's family, who owns the property where his body was found, revealed during testimony that they had been experiencing financial difficulties in the months leading up to his disappearance. The stress and pressure that came with managing their farm were evident, but no one could have predicted the tragic events that unfolded. Experts suggest that in cases like these, economic instability can be a contributing factor in violent behavior. Research indicates that individuals facing financial strain are more likely to engage in aggressive or impulsive actions when feeling overwhelmed. The trial's proceedings highlighted the role of Alex's own family members in his disappearance and murder. While some were shocked by the allegations, others pointed out that there had been previous instances of friction between them. It raises questions about how such tensions can escalate into violence and whether more could have been done to intervene early on. The investigation also brought attention to the town's handling of similar cases in the past. Neighbors reported hearing strange noises and seeing suspicious activity around Alex's property, but their concerns went unreported or dismissed by local authorities. In light of these findings, many are left wondering about the adequacy of law enforcement response and support systems for families in crisis. Could better communication and proactive measures have prevented this senseless tragedy? The answers may never be fully known, leaving only a haunting reminder of the devastating consequences that can unfold when humans succumb to their darker impulses. As detectives dug deeper into the case, they began to unravel a web of deceit and betrayal that led them down a treacherous path. Alex's wife, Sarah, was initially cooperative with investigators, but as the questioning continued, inconsistencies in her story started to emerge. She claimed to have been at home on the night of December 14, watching TV, while Alex went for a walk around the property. However, neighbors reported hearing an altercation between the couple earlier that evening. Further investigation revealed that Sarah had a history of financial troubles and was heavily indebted. The family's farm, once a thriving business, had been struggling to stay afloat due to poor harvests and declining livestock prices. Alex, who had taken over the reins from his father, had been working tirelessly to revive the farm's fortunes. But it wasn't until they discovered a suspicious transaction on Sarah's bank statement that detectives began to piece together a motive. A large withdrawal of $20,000 had been made just days before Alex's disappearance. The money was wired into an offshore account in the Cayman Islands, a location notorious for its secrecy and lack of financial transparency. As investigators dug deeper into the account holder's information, they discovered a shocking connection: Sarah's estranged sister, Rachel, who had been involved in various shady business dealings in the past. It seemed that Alex had stumbled upon some incriminating evidence related to his wife's financial troubles, and Rachel's involvement may have sealed his fate. The case was taking a dark turn, and detectives were left wondering, was this a crime of passion or a premeditated murder? As we delve into the shocking turn of events that unfolded in the small town of Shelbyville, Kentucky, it's impossible not to be left with a sense of unease and unanswered questions. The brutal death of Alex Johnson on December 15, 2018, will forever leave an indelible mark on the community. The investigation into his murder revealed a complex web of relationships and motives that continue to baffle law enforcement officials to this day. Despite the passage of time, many aspects of the case remain shrouded in mystery. The manner in which Alex's body was disposed of on his family's property, with multiple stab wounds and signs of severe blunt force trauma,